When we figure out who owes who what, I paid for the hotel, he paid for part of the Uber anyways, and I paid for part of it too. So we'll sort all that stuff out when we're back in Canada. And he likes to use the Splitwise website for that. I'm a simple guy. I just use Excel and email. Excel, if it gets really complicated, I can probably just do it all in email fine. But he likes to use the app, the website, whatever, so that's fine. I don't personally recommend Splitwise because when paying for this cruise, he had put the full information about what I owed on this cruise on Splitwise, and Splitwise never let me know. No email notification of any kind. I was going weeks, and I was like, why doesn't Sam let me know? Because, it charges in American dollars, but then it posts on our credit card, converts to Canadian. And so I want to know what to give him in Canadian. And so I just been waiting for him to tell me, and weeks and weeks and weeks went by, and I was like, this is kind of weird. I was building up my savings so it'll be less of a hit when I pay it, so I was like, okay, I'm not in a rush. But then the trip was starting to get pretty close, and I was getting a little anxious. I'm like, wait a minute, I remember before Sam used to use Splitwise. I'm going to log in and see if there's anything there maybe, and sure enough, there it was, and it had been sitting there for several weeks. I never got an email. I checked my junk folder. There was nothing. I don't know what's going on with Splitwise. So, thankfully Sam's cool about it, but I could easily see the lack of notifications, the lack of consistent notifications, easily screwing people up. And then, what if you get hurt feelings? You could have ruined friendships over stuff like that. People get crazy about money. It's disrespectful or whatever, or they're trying to make me a chump. Who knows what kind of hard feelings you could get. So personally, I would recommend against Splitwise. And it was actually kind of funny because Splitwise, from the previous trip, had been emailing me constantly, marketing stuff, use us for this, use us for that, and I'm like, I don't care. And then, 2 months after the trip, it sent me an email saying, thousands of dollars, and so I had logged in, and I didn't know anything. It was like, and then I read it very carefully. In the very fine print, it was like, no, this is a summary of all of the charges that you had entered in the last, fiscal quarter or some nonsense. And I'm like, okay, maybe if I'm a company and I don't do my own accounting or something for, travel expenses, maybe that kind of report is, useful and something you'd expect. But as just a guy, it kind of, it wasn't transparent. It caught me off guard. I'm like, why does Splitwise say I owe, $4,000, $7,000, whatever it was? It was a disturbing email, all about nothing. And so personally, I'm not a fan of that. I'll just keep track of it in Excel if it's complicated, or just figure it out in an email otherwise. But Splitwise does have a nice thing where you can upload and attach proof, so you can do screenshots or pictures of receipts, and it does let you do splitting across multiple people by percentage or dollar figure, different allotments, whatever. So some of that function is nice. I just don't know that my life is very often going to get that complicated. It was a little useful on the previous transatlantic because there were 3 of us, and there were hotels and Ubers and cruises and restaurants and all sorts of things. We'll sort all that stuff out, but it was kind of interesting.